Hello from Croft in North Yorkshire for the latest instalment of action from the 750 Motor Club. Coming up today, single-seater racing from Formula V, and there's a feast of sports car action too, featuring RGB, sport specials and low costs as well. But on the first visit by the club to the circuit, let's go on board for a lap with Mx5 Cup points leader Ben Short. Well, with its mix of fast and slow corners, Croft is a big challenge for any driver. Ben here heading down towards the first corner at Clairvaux. It's a 45-degree right, then you've got the left-hand kink on the exit of it before you try and turn right around Hawthorne's corner. Gathering speed as you turn out of Hawthorne's and head towards the chicane, where you want to try and get the perfect straight line if you possibly can, making sure you're carrying good speed out of the corner to go down this long straight past the old pit lane towards Tower, the right-hander. Before you get there, there's this little left-hand kink. So down to around about 50 miles an hour for this one with Ben Short in the Mazda Mx5. Important again to carry speed out of the corner. The next feature of the circuit is the Jim Clark S's just past the trees. Now you want to try and take this corner flat out if you possibly can, turning in late towards the left-hand part of it, then stay on the left for as long as you can. Then the next corner is Barcroft. Tempting to take it flat, but it might not necessarily be the best idea, because you don't want to arrive at Sunny Corner too fast, because that will sap your momentum on the exit of the right-hander, which really is a double apex corner that should be taken as a constant radius. Again, important to carry good speed out of here, down towards the complex. Don't want to go in too wide here for the first part of it, the left-hander. Then the second element, the right-hander, well, you should be turning in on the brakes, and that's what Ben Short is doing. Heading towards the final corner now at the hairpin, where again, with such a long start and finish straight, it's important to carry good speed out of the corner, so he slows down to around about 30 miles an hour and then can accelerate away up to the finish line. So the cars on the grid for this, the second of 3 races this weekend in the Nankang Mx5 Cup by 5 Club Racing. And yesterday's winner, Ben Short, lines up on pole position. Next to him is Jack Sycamore as the lights go out and the race gets underway. Yesterday's on the road second place finisher, James Rogers, was penalised for a jump start, so he has to start this race from row 3 of the grid with some work to do then. Heading through Clairvaux for the first time in what is a 13-minute plus 1 lap race. You should get 9 laps out of it. Cars now making their way towards Hawthorne's, and it looks like it is Ben Short that is in the lead of the race as we go on board here with Mike Comber, the former low-cost champion, switching to the Nankang for Mx5 Cup for this season. Oh, and there's a spinner there coming out of the chicane. Now I didn't catch who that was in actual fact, but they've been avoided by everybody and they've continued on their way, I'm pleased to see. On board again with Mike Comber, who's making up places down here at Tower Corner. Now he was a retirement from race 1 midway through the race, so he started right towards the back of the grid on row 9, just ahead of Marcus Bailey, who started on row 10 of the grid, also a retirement from yesterday's race. So it's Short that is leading the way at the moment. It looks like it's one of the Greatrex brothers in second place. And in third place, I think, is Jack Sycamore with the blue roll cage. Will Blackwell Chambers is in 4th position as they head now down towards the complex. Looks like it's the 93 car of Chris Greatrex that's in second place for the moment, with Sycamore right behind him and Ben Short already pulling out a few car lengths lead. Well, yesterday his victory margin was just under a second over Sycamore, with Greatrex a further 7 seconds back in 3rd position yesterday. The grid for this race set by the results of race 1. And as I say, this weekend a triple header rather than the double header that we've seen at the meetings at Donington Park and Brands Hatch so far this season. 1 race yesterday and 2 races this afternoon here in North Yorkshire. So Ben Short it is that leads, and he's the man that has now won all 5 races so far this season. 2 at Donington, 2 at Brands, and then yesterday here at Croft Circuit. Now the challenge on for second place here, because Jack Sycamore, whose form has been improving as the season has gone on, he's challenging Chris Greatrex there down the inside into Tower Corner. He goes through. Does he get the move done? Just a little bit of a tap there from Greatrex as he goes past, but no harm done, and Sycamore does make that move stick. So we had a couple of podium finishes at Brands Hatch to Jack Sycamore. and yesterday he had his first P2. Can he go one better this time? Can he hunt down Ben Short in the lead of the race in that BS Motorsport car number 4? It's the Ali Bray prepared car for Jack Sycamore in second place. Then you've got the red line car in third position of Chris Greatrex, Blackwell Chambers fourth, Jason Greatrex in the number 44 car is in fifth position, and James Rogers completing the top 6 with second to sixth line astern there as they head into the complex. Good close racing this as ever in the 5 Club Racing Mx5 Cup, backed by Nankang tyres, the tyres that the cars run on. Now there was a mistake there by Chris Greatrex into the first part of the complex. Meanwhile on board we go with Matt Short. This is Ben's father. He's just making his way out of the hairpin now, and you can see that long line of cars lining up ahead of him as he makes his way down the start and finish straight here, past the pit lane and towards Clervaux Corner. Matt's running just a little bit further down the order. He started this race on row 6 of the grid, but it looks like he's got Clervaux wrong, and he's spinning off into the gravel trap, I'm afraid. Now that Clervaux gravel trap can be quite difficult to get out of, so we might see that Matt is stranded there and unable to get out of the race. So Matthew Short, a retirement. And while the race goes on, looks as if it's become a little bit more spread out in actual fact, while Matthew Short was having his off, and I think we might have lost someone. We've lost, I reckon, Jason Greatrex out of this. So I think he may have pulled off somewhere around the circuit. There you can see the battle a bit further back. That includes Stephen Craggs and also Daniel Stewart in the number 86 car. So they are now disputing 6th position. Blackwell Chambers back in 5th. And just ahead of him is Chris Greatrex. So all changes. Stewart there tries a late braking move up the inside of Stephen Craggs in number 47, and I think he's made it work. He's gone through. Action all the way down the field here. The 75 car you can see at the head of this group is Nick Ledoyen, and behind him is number 7, which is Graham McMurky. They turn their way out of the second part of the complex through the left-handed hairpin that ends the lap here at this 2.1 mile Croft circuit in North Yorkshire. They make their way up and over the line to start another lap, and there, just in the background, I think you could see the car of Jason Greatrex, and I think Jason might have just been getting a bit of attention there from the crew on the rescue unit. Let's hope that Jason is okay and that we'll see him out for the second race of the day, the third race of the weekend. There's the 86 car of Stewart then. It looks like he's fallen back behind Craggs now, both of them a little bit ragged, coming out of Tower Corner that time. Heading up towards the daunting Jim Clark S's. Through Barcroft has gone the race leader, and Ben Short looking actually uncatchable in this one, but he's pulling away, if anything, from Jack Sycamore at the moment. It looks like it's Rogers now up to third place, which I guess from 6th on the grid is not too bad an effort, but the gap's, well, it's looking quite a big one between the two teammates there, Sycamore and Rogers, as they're making their way now down towards the complex once more. They sort of sweep through this left-hander, and that's a complex that gets progressively tighter as you go through it. Left, right, and then left again at the hairpin, and out-braking himself there. I think that was Nick Ledoyen, and it might be that McMurky has gone off in sympathy and had a spin. It's Nick Ledoyen there onto the old circuit, the old triangular circuit that was originally raced here at Croft back in the 60s. But he'll need to rejoin the circuit, as does Graham McMurky. Final lap of the race then. Not sure that we're going to get any place changes among the top 3. The gap's just looking too large now between Ben Short and Jack Sycamore and James Rogers. And you can see Short turning his way through Tower Corner for the final time. Out on this short straight towards the Jim Clark S's. And then to be up towards Barcroft and Sunny Corner. And Ben Short looking good for what will be a 6th straight victory of the year, and he's got the power to add. Look how he slides that car through Barcroft Corner, nicely done. Because we've of course got a 7th round of the season coming up later on. 18 rounds altogether for this year in the 5 Club Racing Mx5 Cup. After this, it's to Cadwell Park in 4 weeks' time, and that's another circuit that's a great favourite with the drivers. The tight and twisty Mini Nürburgring, as it's called. So Short with a back marker ahead of him that he will put a lap on. That's Andrew Barrett in the number 90 car right at the end of the race. So Andrew's going to get one less lap than everybody else. Ben Short, oh, big! He's really enjoying himself, isn't he? Got the tail out, lit up the tyres, he's heading up towards the line. He's going to take the checkered flag. It has got a lot closer on this final lap for second and third, but Jack Sycamore holds on, and James Rogers does indeed take third position. So Rogers third after starting on row 3 of the grid. Celebrations though for Ben Short, 6 out of 6 at the beginning of 2015. And confirmation of that result and the victory margin of 2.35 seconds over Jack Sycamore. Ben Short also got the fastest lap, a 1:42.71, improving the lap record. There was a 10-second jump start penalty for Chris Greatrex. That dropped him down to 7th and up into the top 6. Because of that came Stephen Craggs. Mike Comber from the back of the grid made it up to 8th position. Alan Robson followed him to 9th.
Ben Short, another win within the MX5 Championship. That one looked a nice win as well.
Yeah, that was quite a good run actually. Unfortunately, James and Jack there couldn't really get their act together, so they didn't do very well. But that'll teach them for making rude signs behind the camera at me.
Jack Sycamore coming in second place there. You couldn't quite catch the man out front, but there was a quick man behind you.
Yeah, indeed. I got a very bad start and dropped back to about 4th, and that meant that Ben had a clean road and could gap the rest of them whilst I was trying to come back up to second. Once I did that, Ben didn't make any mistakes, and you can't catch him. The slipstream is so much down here that you really need to be in it to have a chance of overtaking. So unfortunately in that race didn't have the moment, but we'll try again later.
James Rogers, what a race that was for you. You got up into third place and you weren't content with that, looking for second as well.
Yeah, that's right. I managed to catch up with Jack at the end, but being teammates and all, wasn't going to try and force the issue too much. But yeah, starting from 6th was far from ideal after what I thought was a pretty harsh penalty yesterday in race 1. So to be honest, to get back up to 3rd cleanly as well without collecting any damage was a decent achievement, and it sets us up nicely for race number 3. So hopefully have a go at Ben again.
All set for the third and final race of the weekend in the Nankang Mx5 Cup. The race underway then. It was Ben Short and Jack Sycamore on the front row of the grid, but not a good start at all, I'm afraid, by Jack Sycamore. He's dropped behind Will Blackwell Chambers already, who was quite speedy away from row 2 of the grid. And this 19 car field then heads down towards and through Clervaux Corner for the first time. The 85 car of Samuel Haggerty looked a little bit out of shape there, heading through the first corner. You can see the number 86 car of Daniel Stewart going through. He started on the 3rd row of the grid, and these cars more or less line astern as they head down towards Tower for the first time. Short it is that leads. Blackwell Chambers is second. Someone is locking up. The 93 car is Chris Greatrex, you can see. Going through as well is number 58, Mike Comber, the ex-low cost champion, and MX5 Super Cup race winner as well. Top 3 already starting to pull away a little bit from the rest. It's Rogers in 4th, Sycamore after that slow start in 5th position, up towards Barcroft for the first time then. And it's Short, who's won 6 out of 6 so far, that leads the way, but he goes wide at the first part of Sunny, and Will Blackwell Chambers capitalises and goes through to take the lead of the race. Well, these two are teammates, of course. It might just be that Ben Short is allowing Will Blackwell Chambers to do some of the hard work here. He's got Greatrex just behind him, and it's actually pretty close again for the first 8 or 9 cars, something like that. Rogers, Sycamore, Comber. 47 is Stephen Craggs in 7th position. We go on board with the Kiwi, number 89, Paul Monteith. Getting up close and personal with Daniel Stewart there, out of the corner and on to the start and finish straight to start the second lap. Over the grid markings, this low-mounted camera on the front of Monteith's car, and we look back to the leaders, and it is still the 43 car of Blackwell Chambers that leads the way. Blackwell Chambers won the first 2 5 Club Racing events at Donington Park at the beginning of last season, when it ran as a series rather than a championship. This year Ben Short is certainly proving himself as the man to beat, but Will Blackwell Chambers has been on the podium 3 times in the first 4 races. We've not yet seen him on the podium this weekend at Croft, however. He looks set to change that though, because he's leading here from Short in 2nd place, and then Greatrex in 3rd, Rogers 4th, Sycamore 5th, Comber 6th. Stream of cars stretching through the Jim Clark S's now. Looks like the top two just getting away a bit from Greatrix there, and similarly he's pulling away from Rogers as well, but we said that at this point of the circuit on the last lap, and it closed up again by the time they got to the complex. Different cars and different drivers will be strong at different parts of the track. It looked as if Rogers a bit more committed into the first part of Sunny, closing the gap onto Greatrix there. Down towards the complex again. Second time of asking in this race, which I expect will go for 9 laps. The other 2 races that we've had so far this weekend did. Jack Sycamore and Jason Greatrix on the podium with Ben Short in race number 1. Sycamore and Rogers on the podium in race 2. On board we go once again with Paul Monteith. Oh, and one of the black and green cars there going wide and losing some momentum as a result of that. Now, which one of them was it? You've got Daniel Stewart as one of them. Try and pick out which one it was. It was Stewart, because the other one being driven by Alan Robson this weekend, the man behind 5 Club Racing, and the originator of MX5 Racing, well, over a decade ago now as well, here in the UK. The MX5 Cup proving as popular as ever. 18 rounds in this year's calendar, so we are just over a third of the way through. Cadwell Park is the next venue for the championship, and then we go to Anglesey in July. So here we've got Rogers, who's now ahead of Greatrix, and then Sycamore. So we've had the change for third place that was possibly on the cards. Chris Greatrix in the number 93 car. Jason just a little bit further back down the order in number 44. Good to see Jason back out though after that incident in the first of the 2 races today. Meanwhile, out front it's still Will Blackwell Chambers that leads from Ben Short. Rogers now third. Sycamore has a look at the inside of Greatrix there for 4th place. He's alongside, he's got his nose in front. Nicely done. Here's a P4 then. Blackwell Chambers with his green wheels that don't necessarily go with the mainly blue bodywork. They do match his bump up and his wing mirrors though, at least. On board again with Monteith, feeling like we've been somehow attached to the front of his car. Gives a great impression of speed as the tarmac rushes past underneath us. As that Stewart that's involved, the other car I think is Ian Tomlinson. And these are the battles for the lower end of the top 10 as a change of lead. Ben Short goes back through on the inside at Tower Corner. Blackwell Chambers, for the moment at least, goes back down to 2nd position. And Rogers is still there in 3rd. He's gaining on the first 2. So he could be a force to be reckoned with before the end of this race. Sycamore, having got past Greatrix, is trying to cling on. He's not finding it particularly easy though. Greatrix putting a lot of pressure on him. They're falling away now from the first 3. Got to watch out because Mike Comber and Jason Greatrix not too far behind in 6th and 7th places respectively. It's Ben Short that continues to lead, the driver from Warminster, from Blackwell Chambers, who's based in Basingstoke. Rogers in the number 5 car, he's a Hereford lad. And then you've got the Welshman Chris Greatrix and well, just behind Sycamore, of course, in the 91 car. He's from Milton Keynes. So along the straight they go once more. Start and finish straight here at Croft. See the Rallycross circuit snaking alongside the straight and then rejoining it on the approach to Clervaux Corner. Now Jason Greatrix has got ahead of Mike Comber now, I see. Stephen Craggs in number 47, not too far behind. One of the more local drivers to the circuit, being based in Ripon. These Japanese roadsters always provide frantic and very close action indeed. Again, not a great deal of power, a bit more slippery than the low costs that we've seen earlier on. Still, they lend themselves quite well to slipstreaming as well. Ben Short there, just pushing a little bit too hard, maybe the dust being kicked up, and that will encourage Will Blackwell Chambers, I think, to believe that Short might make a mistake. But the problem for Blackwell Chambers now is that he's got to focus not just on Ben Short leading the race, but on James Rogers behind him, because Rogers, who started the weekend with that 10-second penalty in race 1 that cost him a podium place and dropped him down to 6th, then had a 3rd place finish earlier on this afternoon. He's now a threat for, well, not just 2nd place, but for victory here as well, I suggest. Into the complex once again. Or Chambers, brake lights go just fractionally before those of Rogers, as you'd expect. Now they accelerate away out of the corner, past the commentary box, and past the race control facility here at Croft. First visit for the Nankang Mx5 Cup, but many of the drivers will be familiar with this because Mazda Mx5s have raced at Croft many times before. It's been a popular destination for these cars in the past in other guises, so they'll be more familiar with the circuit than some of the other drivers here this weekend, although because they're all equally as familiar with it, no one's getting a particular advantage out of that. 54 going through is Marcus Bailey, the driver from Cambridgeshire, just behind number 75 Nick Ledoyen, and these two are battling over effectively 16th and 17th positions, I think it is. But it doesn't matter, they're having a great old race, albeit further down the order than they would have liked to have been. Into Tower Corner they go, and it's the 54 car of Bailey that's trying to go around the outside of Ledoyen. Novice cross on the back of his car. That's actually a novice mistake because it's actually cost him a position there as well. Around the outside at Tower is not a move that will often work, I don't think, and so it proved. It just left the door open for the car behind. Sure, Ben Short wouldn't have made a mistake like that. He leads the race from Will Blackwell Chambers and James Rogers. Here we can see Stephen Craggs in 47 has now got ahead of Mike Comber as well. So Comber just dropping back down the order steadily as this race goes on. Looks like his best showing of the weekend will have been in race number 2. He'll fight back here though and try and get back into P6 as the leader's heading through Clervaux Corner once more. Into the final third of this race now, through the chicane and onto the old pit straight. So it was the pit straight until the circuit was remodelled 18 years ago now. So its current 2.1 mile configuration with the introduction of the infield section that bypasses the old railway straight, which now serves as an extra paddock facility. Craggs and Comber still battling over 6th position then. Craggs didn't allow Comber through. That's a slowing Jason Greatrix, though. I think he's got a problem as he pulls off onto the inside of the circuit, and in fact he is going straight on through the short link here at Croft and straight into the pit lane. Well, not quite sure we should have done that, but anyway, he's out of the race, having used the part of the tarmac that has only been used very rarely indeed for actual racing. I think Eurocars and Legends in the past have used that cut through after the exit of Tower. That's promoted Craggs and Comber, of course, with Jason Greatrix now out of the race. So he's had 2 non-finishes today. Has Jason to go with the podium finish he had yesterday. A long trip up from Cardiff. Ultimately not the best of weekends for him. Like Comber was just about to make an attack on Craggs there for 6th, as we watch the leaders making their way through Clervaux once again. And this now is the final lap of the race. A wonderful battle going on down here. It involves number 7, which is Graham McMurky. It involves our old friend Marcus Bailey as well, also involved. Here's the car of Ben Hansey as well, I think. Looks like it's side by side for fourth, just out of shot there. That's between Sycamore and Chris Greatrix, of course. And I think it might be Sycamore that's ahead at the moment. Leaders, though, actually looking to spread out now on this final lap of the race, as they have done all race, which I suppose makes some kind of sense. Through Barcroft goes Ben Short in the lead from Blackwell Chambers and from James Rogers. Plenty of track action for the MX5s this weekend on these further flung away days. They are running to a 3-race format. Now through the complex for the final time then, so it looks like it's going to be 3 from 3 for Ben Short at Croft, 7 from 7 for him for the season. And that will give him more than 700 points. It will extend his lead over the likes of Blackwell Chambers, who was second coming into the championship this weekend. Takes the checkered flag then, Ben Short in 7th heaven in the Nankang MX5 Cup by 5 Club Racing. Let's have a look at the results then, and it was a win for Ben Short, as we've said, by 8/10 of a second from Will Blackwell Chambers, with James Rogers third. Rogers getting the fastest lap and the lap record as well, 1:42.53. Sycamore, Greatrex and Craggs completed the top 6. Further back, it was Ian Tomlinson, Matthew Short, Daniel Stewart and Paul Monteith that completed the top 10. Next up for the MX5s is Cadwell Park.
Ben Short, 3 times winner this weekend, 7 times winner this year. You're unstoppable at the minute.
Well, no. Will there showed me a very clean set of heels for a couple of laps at the start. Yeah, it was that was a much more interesting race. Worked hard for it, and Will this last race has really come on. So yeah, it looks like Cadwell next, which Will's good at. So it might be on there, so to speak. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
And where did you manage to get past Will?
Out back somewhere. There's lots of fields around. I can never remember the names of the corners, but yeah, I got past and he just kept me honest. That was 100%. I couldn't have gone any quicker, and he was on it, absolutely flat out. So well done to Will, and a brilliant BS Motorsport 1-2.
Really good set of races this weekend, Ben. Well done.
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Will Blackwell Chambers coming home in 2nd place. You enjoyed that one?
No, it's a really good drive. Really great. Thanks very much to my girlfriend and BS Motorsport being here this weekend. It's been a lot of support, and yeah, they've got the car turned around. It's been absolutely gorgeous in that race.
And you led for a bit during the start?
Yeah, I led for a bit, but Ben had the pace on me. It was more kind of a matter of when, if not where, so I held him back for as long as I could, but eventually slipped by.
It's all about racking up the points, though.
Yeah, I mean, we're in this for the championship, so every point we can get is crucial, so the more racing we do, the more up the front finish we get, the better it goes overall.
Well done, Will.
Thank you.
James Rogers, 3rd best once again. What do you have to do to get a little bit towards the top?
Start a bit further up, have a decent start. That'd be helpful. Yeah, didn't go to plan, but Will did really well. I drove a really good race, so just couldn't find that sort of clear-cut opportunity to have a go and have a go at Ben. So yeah, a bit despondent, to be honest.
You tried your best on most of the corners to get through, as you said, though not the best places to pass.
Yeah, I know. It's actually, I don't know, it's a bit tricky around here to pull off a really sort of clean move. So didn't want to take too many risks. But yeah, had a little go, but not enough. So we'll have to go again next time out.
Yeah, try a little bit harder, but still, podiums this weekend, not bad.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of podiums, can't really complain with that. And big thanks to AB Motorsport. Like, the car was handling awesome all weekend, so top job by those guys. So really grateful.
Good job, James. Well done.
Thank you.
That's all from Croft. Join us again at Anglesey in a couple of months' time. Bye for now.